Another thing which I think needs to be clarified: just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean it's rage bait. Okay,
No, I'm not
it's a
saying
very
you disagree with me. I don't care about any of this, but I want to debate you on it because it's all kind of
yeah,
stupid.
but just understand that it's not rage bait. It's genuine what people genuinely actually believe. So just because they disagree with you doesn't mean it's rage bait. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir. Anyways, being a furry is not fine. Trying to pretend to be an animal.
No one's pretending to be an animal. They're cosplaying. They're wearing a costume, an animal costume, and cosplaying. That's what it is. It's like wearing fancy dress. Like if you dressed up as Shrek for Halloween. So what exactly is the issue with playing fancy dress? No one ever said furries think they're animals. So what's
They're
the
not
issue?
fancy. They're not fancy dressed. They're sexualizing themselves with animal.
Fine if you are, but I don't know if you're attracted to animals. But no, furries
No,
don't.
that was a really good
Hold on,
point to make. Thank you for making that point. Because obviously I'm not into animals, but
I don't know.
I just
That's
love
fine.
you trying to
That's cool.
farm for
Wait,
fucking
listen, my
likes
dear
and
boy. Just give me a moment. Just listen. I have to mute you because you're not paying attention. Just pay attention, my dear boy. Number one, no one, they aren't, actualizing themselves at all. That's a weird thing to say. If you are turned on by that, that's fine. That's on you. But they're not doing that at all. They just enjoy wearing a costume of a furry animal, and that's absolutely fine with me. I don't see why you'd have an issue with that. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever. They're not hurting anyone. So again, would you like to come up
Hello,
with an
sir. I'd appreciate if you didn't mute me and ask me to be quiet because it'd be somewhat respectful.
No, because you're just being verbose without making an actual point.
Oh, so I'm yapping when you just yapped for 5 minutes after muting me.
No, I just corrected what you were saying. Anyways, do you want to actually have an actual point?
Okay. So are you saying that someone pauses his life?
One moment. So that's anyways, yeah, what were you saying?
Are you saying that women who transition to men are men?
Certain, you may be biologically as a female, but if you have an accordance to be with the social cultural norms of a typical sex and in terms of that gender, then yes, I think they should be treated as men as such, essentially. And we do know that.
Isn't social norms of a gender somewhat sexist?
Not necessarily at all. Again, the social cultural norms as well. That's the kind of the point that I'm making. I don't know if you understand what that means, but essentially, social cultural norms associated with certain demographic or sex.
I don't know what the word demographics just popped up there for. Thanks for using big words. Yeah, but
It's not a big word. It's a very obvious word, like fifth graders.
no. Obviously, I know what it means, but using a big word that probably half these kids don't know anything.
Okay, well, do you have any point of contention with that? Like, why do you see an issue with them being treated as?
Oh, because
Like, let me ask you a question.
You're lagging like shit.
Can you hear what I'm saying? Am I lagging?
No, like your
Can you hear
mouth's
me?
delayed. I don't know. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. But yeah, it's very delayed.
Wait, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. 1 second. Is it better now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better now.
Sorry, 1 second. I just muted you. Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear and see me clearly? Is it lagging? I might have to restart the stream if it's lagging. Is it lagging, everyone? Do tell me if it's lagging. Is it lagging, yes or no? Just so I can restart the stream. Is it lagging?
I think you should log off that Sky Wi-Fi.
Pardon?
Oh, anyways. Maybe saying trans men are men is going to get you silenced on Instagram.
It's lagging. I might have to restart the stream. Wait, Yusuf. Am I lagging, yes or no? You're here every stream, actually. I'm gonna just give you mod just to help out. But yeah, is it lagging, yes or no? Now good? Okay. No, it's okay. Okay, all right. Let's carry on with the stream. Okay, no, okay, all right. All right, let's get the next guest in here. It seems like it's not lagging. I don't think so. I'm gonna get the next person in here. Double tap the screen. It's gonna be added in next. I hate this lag. I've tried to get it sorted out, but I don't know what else to do. It just seems to be lagging so much. I don't know. I might have to start streaming earlier. I really don't know. Anyways, let's get the next person in here. Double tap the screen. Can you hear me?
Yo,
Is it
yo.
lagging? Can you hear me? Am I lagging?
Nah.
Okay, you can hear me clearly.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to debate?
Can I debate that trans men are men?
Okay, sure. Why do you disagree with that statement?
Because if they have a vagina, obviously like they're women, innit? So like
No, not necessarily whatsoever. We do know that there are some people with vaginas who have XY chromosomes as well. So again, that wouldn't really be a good argument for saying someone is a woman if they have an if they have a vagina, because we know that some people have XY chromosomes and do have vaginas. So again, that's not the deciding factor. So I don't know what your point is.
alright, bye.
Right, bye. Oh my goodness, that's just knocked me off point. Why is it lagging so much? Like, it just annoys me whenever it lags. I'm trying to sort it out. Listen, there's gonna be a few laggy streams, but I'm gonna try and sort it out eventually. Everyone double tap the screen. The exception proves the rule. No, it's the exception does not disprove the rule, I'm pretty sure. Bro had no argument. Yeah, he had no argument very clearly. Double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here. I do hope that it's fixed. If it isn't, listen, I'll try and get it sorted for the next streams. I'm sorting out some stuff to try and fix the Wi-Fi to get it sorted. It says good connection, but I don't know. You know, I'm trying to get it sorted out. But if you disagree with any of these prompts, do join the guest request. Double tap the screen. Again, it's not rage bait. If it just because it disagrees with you doesn't mean it's rage bait. Hey, what do you want to debate?
I want to debate the
How old are you? How old are you?
Why didn't you ask me that first? I'm above
Okay,
the
how
age
old
of
are you?
18.
That's not an answer to the question. What is your specific age?
I'm 20 years old. Is that fine enough for you?
Okay, all right. Okay, what do you want to debate? Yeah, you need to be 18 and over to be in
Yeah,
TikTok Live. So
whatever,
what do you want to
kid.
debate?
I want to debate the first one. Being a furry is fine.
Okay. Why do you think being a furry is not okay?
Because you're disgusting if you're a furry. That's my whole view.
And why is that? Do you have any reasoning behind that?
Because dressing up at this big age, above 18, I would say, and even belittling, sorry, gotta stutter, belittling, but I have a stutter, so don't make fun of me. Why did you
No one
crack a
was making fun of
smile?
you, but you said dressing up at this. Hold on one second, my dear boy. Just give me a moment. But you said at this big age, dressing up is
Woman!
weird. Number one, would you be indicating that? Just stop speaking for a moment. Would you be saying that people who dress up on Halloween are weird? Then in that scenario, dressing up on Halloween is weird. Dressing up as, I don't know, a superhero or favorite TV character is weird. Is that what you'd be saying?
First of all, you misgendered me. That's an act of violence. I can get you taken to the police. Let's not do that. Thank you.
I just can't be bothered for that. I might restart the stream. I'm gonna restart the stream. Don't know why. Actually, do I restart the stream? I don't know whether I should. It's just I don't know why the view account is. Double tap the screen. Let's get some debates going. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Yo, what's good? I'm 18, by the way, and the third one I kind of disagree with.
Okay, so why don't you think spanking is abuse?
I believe that there has to be boundaries set in place, and before you say that you can put boundaries with other things, I believe that if you associate boundaries with a modified level of pain, or rather just a stun, a shock.
Let me help you out. There's no justifiable reasoning to set boundaries with pain. As you just admitted, yes, you can absolutely do it without being physically abusive, especially to minors. There's no reason that you should need to set boundaries with trying to enforce them physically through abusive means and through pain. It's very evil and disgusting. And this is exactly why I say spanking is abuse. All the studies and data indicates that spanking has long-term harmful effects on especially minors and individuals, because majority of spanking happens when people are young and they can't leave their parents, and so it's very abusive and it can harm the child in the long run, and there is no reason that you should be physically abusing your child especially, and there's other ways to again get certain behaviors rather than through abusive means. And I'd argue that there needs to be some sort of therapy or something in place if there's that many issues, but again, there's no reason why you should be spanking your child.
Yeah, and like I was saying before, when you relate that to pain, in which is you can be honest when I say the spanking, it doesn't have to you don't have to look at it as a whole slapper on the face. It could be a spank on the wrist. It could be something that is related to shock that is not necessarily all that painful, yet still provides that shock for the child to be able to
There's
register
no
that what they're doing
justification
is
for
wrong.
physical harm. One second, my dear boy. There's no justification for physical harm. That is the
Fuck
point.
is this
There's
going on,
no
bro?
reason. Just listen. There is no reason why you should be physically touching your child without their consent to hurt them out of a physical act. All the data indicates it's harmful, it's painful, and it's deeply immoral. Do you understand that?
I understand that it could be looked at as immoral because you are hitting your child, but what you don't understand is the fact that if there is boundaries that have been put in place and they don't work, that shock value can be
Then
a,
you
a
find some other
last
means.
resort.
No, you find other means. You go to therapy, you sort it out in non-evil measures. What's more than that is that let's say you had a spouse or a wife and you wanted to change their behavior to be something more respectful towards you. Would you justify physical abuse in that sense? If it was your spouse or your wife and you wanted to, I don't know, have them do certain acts, would you think that it's okay to hit your wife? Is that what you're telling me?
We're not reinforce this whole spanking, this whole hitting. Well, not hitting to a certain degree, but the shock
What's
value.
hitting? What's
I'm
hitting?
I'm saying that as in children mainly to sit
Okay,
and
so you're
listen.
fine with physically abusing minors, that's fine. But what is the issue if you wanted to
No, don't
physically
play
abuse
word
them?
semantics with me. The hell.
It's not word semantics, that's literally it. If you've hit someone without their consent, that is physical abuse, and especially if it's a child, it's against a minor. So you would be physically abusing a minor. So can you explain your justification for that? Or are you gonna keep being verbose without actually saying
My
anything?
justification being that you have to put a boundary in place. You keep saying therapy this, therapy that can still not work. You understand that,
Did you
right?
actually hear what I said? I see you're having trouble focusing. Number one, you're speaking complete nonsense because you can absolutely get
Me
boundaries
and
in place without
nonsense.
hurting your child. Hold on one second. Just listen, my dear boy. You do not need to physically hurt your child. That's the point. There's no justification for that whatsoever. It is physical abuse against the minor, and that's never okay. If you like abusing minors, that's fine, but there's a serious issue, and you need to sort it out. There's nothing okay with physically abusing a minor. That's end of. There's other ways of getting desired behaviors without doing that. If there's an issue, you speak it out like an adult. You don't act like a child and start trying to hit your child. Okay?
Act like a child. I'm sorry, but you understand that this whole ideology of spanking being abuse is, and I'm not gonna lie, I see this mainly in the new generation, which is probably why among us we're lost as a generation. Because if you think that's abuse, I mean, if you want to play word
Okay,
semantics
let me let
and
me ask
fit
you a
under the
question.
definition,
Would you physically hit your wife if she didn't do a behavior that you
why
like?
why are you interrupting me?
Answer the question. It's not a difficult question.
But
Just
you
just one
interrupted
second,
me.
my dear boy. You're intellectually struggling. Would you hit your wife if you wanted to get a
What do you
certain
mean,
way
my
of
dear
child
boy, as
behavior?
well? That's starting to piss me off as well. Fuck is
Just
you doing?
relax. Just relax. Just pay attention and listen. Would you hit your wife if you wanted to get a desired behavior out of her? Just answer the question.
No, because I already told you that
Why?
I fit this under the category of teaching a child a lesson
Okay, why
so
would
they
you
can
not
carry
do it
on
to
their
the wife?
life.
What is the morally relevant difference that you would do it to the child but not the wife? Why would you physically abuse your child but not your wife? What's the
Because
difference?
I'm setting a lesson in
Don't spam,
place.
please. One second, Mark. 1 second. Kuhu, please don't spam. I will add you in once I'm done. Just be patient. I'll eventually get you in. There's not that many people, so you'll get in. But can you answer that question, please?
Yeah. So what I was saying was, I'm essentially putting in place a lesson. If I, let's say, I put
So you're not answering the question. Would you do
I'm
it to
putting
your
a
wife? Can you just
hypothetical up
answer
to
the question?
aid the question. If you follow along. Um,
So
if
can you
I
just answer the question quickly? You're not answering it and you're obfuscating and avoiding it. Would you hit your wife? That is the question. Can you answer that?
I already said no to that. So what do you
Okay,
mean?
why? Can you answer it quickly? Why would you
Yeah,
not
and
hit
I'm
your wife?
saying that right now. I would
Okay,
not
what's the
because I'm
answer?
putting a lesson.
So
If
can you
I
would you okay? So if your wife was doing something you didn't want them to do, how would you try and change their behavior?
How would I change their behavior?
Would you
Since
talk
they're
to your wife?
an adult, since they have the logical thinking of an adult, I would talk it out. That's not the same for a child in
Okay, why couldn't
instances,
you talk it out for your child?
because that's not the same for a child in some instances. I'm not
But
exactly David
so
right
in
there.
some
I'm not
instances
raising my
you're
wife.
unrightfully abusing your child, but in other instances, why would it not work for your child? Can you explain that?
Why would what no work for my child?
speaking to your child if there's an issue that you want to sort out?
Because in some scenarios, a child can be disobedient, a lot disobedient, and cannot logically think step to step because they are clouded by some sort of vision or maybe there's many
Okay,
factors
all
as
right.
to
Let
being
me
a
ask you
child
a
that can.
question. Let me ask you a question. Is it okay to physically abuse people who don't
Sorry,
understand what? Just listen. Is it okay to physically abuse people who don't understand what they're doing? Can you answer that question?
there has to be
Like a
rules set in
disabled
place.
person, for example. Would it be okay to
Well,
physically?
can I follow up and you not interrupt me straight after?
Just answer the question quickly. It's not difficult. I don't need you to be
Yeah.
verbose. I
So
need you
no,
to answer it quickly and succinctly.
I said no. Can I
Okay, why
follow
would
up?
it not be okay to physically hit a disabled person if they didn't do the behaviors you wanted them to do?
I have rules for that. One, they have to be yours. They have to be your child. I don't agree with
Okay, so if
hitting
your child
anyone
was
else's child. Can
disabled,
I follow up? What the
just
fuck?
no. Let me answer your question. 1 second, my dear boy. Just calm down. You're getting upset. Just relax.
Bitch, you
If
keep
it was your
talking, bro.
child, 1 second, don't interrupt. Just listen. If it was your child, would you be okay? If they were disabled, your child, would you be okay with hitting your disabled child?
My disabled child.
Yes.
Why are you trying to? This is an emotional argument.
No, it's not an
Clearly.
emotional argument. It's a very simple question. It's not difficult. I don't know if you're having trouble following on, but it's a very simple question. If your child was disabled,
Well,
would you hit them?
with disabled children, most times out of 10, you have to put rules in place mentally and not physically, and that's what I've learned with
And how
people
would you do that? How would you put rules in place mentally?
because they suffer. I'm assuming you're talking about mental disabilities, so you put
Yes.
mental sort of.
No. If you wanted to get desired behavior and they don't understand you, how would you do it without being physical?
I mean, there's many precautions to take for someone who's disabled if you want to,
Okay, so can you give me some examples of what that would be?
I mean, one way I've saw someone who has an autistic son on TikTok, and she would put on music, a certain music, and that would stop him from doing the act in which he probably shouldn't because it calms him down. So there's many ways to alleviate or
Okay, so
calm
there's
down a
many
special
ways.
needs.
Just listen. Okay, so there's many ways apart from physical violence that you can use to try and get a desired behavior out of someone and actually talk to them about a certain issue that you have instead of physically abusing
Yeah,
them.
but these are
And so,
for
what is the reason? One
special
second, my dear
needs.
boy. So, why would you continue to physically abuse your child when you don't need to? And if you're telling me they're not special needs, for example, like your wife, then like your wife, you should be able to speak to that child and sort it out. Because again, you admitted you would not hit your wife. So in
And
that case, you
I
can sort
said
out.
it. I said it.
Don't
If you was
interrupt. Don't
listening,
interrupt. 1 second, my dear boy. If you admit that you would not hit your wife because you can speak it out with her, then you should be able to not hit your child because you can speak it out with them as well. It's very simple. It's not complicated. Do you
yeah,
understand
you
that?
not hear me saying the fact that there's many factors as to how a child can be disobedient in listening,
There's
and not
many
only.
factors how your wife can be disobedient as well. Okay, they can be disobedient for a myriad of reasons, but it's never okay to physically abuse them.
And then I go back to my point of saying, am I teaching a lesson to my wife?
Yes, you might be if you don't like a certain thing. I'm
Not might.
assuming you
Am I?
don't
Yes or no?
necessarily.
Let me pressure you now, like you've been doing. Yes or
You're not
no?
pressing anything because you're not making sense. I've showed you there's
I'm
numerous
not
studies
making
that
sense.
1 second, my dear boy. Don't interrupt. Just be quiet. Just calm down. Because
You're a
I'm helping you
hypocrite,
out.
bro.
I'm just making sure. 1 second. I'm just making sure that we're together on planet Earth and we understand that physically abusing minors is not okay. Please stop spamming in the chat. You guys need to stop spamming in the chat, please. Stop spamming in the chat because I'm just gonna have to meet you. Anyways, the point is that you don't need to physically abuse your child because all the data indicates that it has long-term negative effects. It doesn't work. It causes issues. These negative effects can range from mental disorders, psychological disorders, physical issues as well. Because when people are under trauma, their growth is stunted. So you're actually hurting your child. There's myriad of studies that indicate this, and so there's no reason why you should be physically abusing your child
So
and
you're telling
causing
me,
them.
you're
Thank you so
telling
much for
me,
the gift.
in cases where you do as much as to give a child a light spank on the wrist, for that shock
That's
value,
not
you're telling me
justified at
they.
all. That doesn't help at all, and all the data indicates that it doesn't help at all
What
whatsoever.
data? What sources do you have?
There's plenty of sources online. Just give me a moment.
If you don't have a source, I can't take your word for it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, you could even look online. Is
I don't.
spanking
I mean, you're the
You
one
can even
blasting this
one second. You can
information.
look up is spanking good. got a medical forensics. That's one study as well. There's plenty. Oh yeah, National Institute of Health. I love using them as a source. They're very reliable. PubMed Central. Physical punishment of children. Lessons from 20 years of research, and it basically explains how it's very negative and it has many issues and can cause injury, considerable physical injury, emotional injury, mental injury when you spank your child. All the data indicates that it's a terrible thing to do, but you're so deluded that you'll still try and justify it and be foolish in saying that it's a good thing when all the data indicates that it's terrible, it doesn't work, and it has negative outcomes for your child. So again, there's considerable evidence that providing support and education to parents can reduce their use of physical punishment and child's externalizing behaviors. So again, this is why I reference therapy that you can go to. So instead of trying to physically abuse your child, it's not difficult. And these were meta-analysis studies, which means it was a mix of multiple different studies as well.
Yeah. So what was the source you said? I forgot. You spoke a lot.
Physical punishment of children, lessons from 20 years of research, National Institute of Health. And yeah, you can look at it as well. And you can actually see that evidence shows that it's actually negative and it actually has very bad issues and, outcomes on the child. And it makes sense.
I'm gonna get back to that because I ain't got.
Think about it. You're physically abusing a minor. Like, just think about that. Also, it also makes the child more likely to act out in negative ways too. It just makes sense. It's just a terrible thing to do. Okay, so you can go and take a look at all the myriads of studies that indicate that physical abuse of a minor, aka spanking your child, is abuse and it's wrong. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll take a look at that when I can. Of course, I ain't got a second.
All right, well, you can go and check that out. I'm going to move on to the next guest. Everyone double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here. If you disagree with any of these prompts, being a furry is fine, trans men are men, and spanking is abuse, you can feel free to come up and debate it. I'll be happy to debate you. I am trying to get some new guests on here, so if you have been on before, just give me a moment. But yeah, we will debate this. If you have some good points, make sure you bring them up. It's going to be a nice long live, and yeah, it's truly terrible. Hey, what do you want to debate?
Hi. Can you hear me?
What are you? How old are you?
19. Or 20 rather.
Pardon?
20?
Okay, you said 19 then 20. I don't trust you. Sorry, you got to be quick with it.